96.7 KCAL rocks. It is Patrick in the morning, and time to do one of my favorite things is talk some sports with our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going on?
Man, always love breaking it down with Patrick in the morning. Listen, I know we're all sad to see football go, right? But at least we've got baseball now. And today is the day with the start of spring training games. We got the Dodgers taking on the Padres. So we're going to see a lot of these new look Dodgers, some of these new free agents, except Shohei Ohtani. He is not scheduled to play today or actually anytime soon as he's coming off that elbow surgery, which he had last September. So the goal is to just have him ready by their season opener. Remember, they start a week earlier than everybody else across Major League Baseball because the Dodgers and Padres will play their first regular season game in South Korea on March 20th. So that's the goal. Ohtani to be ready. He would like, I think he said about 100 at-bats, whether that's spring training, those simulation games, but he would like to get 100 at-bats before that March 20th game. So that's the end game. So if you don't see him in the lineup today or anytime soon, don't freak out. The end game is to be ready by March 20th in South Korea.
Right. And I mean, apparently he's all on schedule and the rehab is going well from what we hear. And he's doing his thing. You even see him bonding with his new teammates. I know a video was going viral of Teoscar Hernandez, who was a former Mariner, so I know he's going to crush for the Dodgers now, but teaching him Spanish and stuff. Very funny video. So there's even a little camaraderie going already with the Dodgers. I think that's a very good sign.
Yeah, I mean, he's there. He's there with the team. He's working out with the team. He's just not going to be playing like in the batting order. And I should mention that too because he's going to hit this season, but he is not going to pitch. They've already said that. He's not going to take the mound for the Dodgers this season, but he should be in the lineup every single day. So we'll see. Yes. We'll see how that works out, as a DH. And, everyone wants to see Shohei Ohtani. He's going to sell a ton of jerseys. He's going to sell a ton of tickets. So everybody wants to see Shohei Ohtani out there. It will happen. They're just kind of taking that slow roll to get ready for the season opener.
Yeah. I mean, I can already feel it now. The Ohtani jersey night, it's going to be huge.
Dude, yeah, it's going to be nuts. So today, spring training starts, Dodgers and Padres. Again, we're sad to see football go, but we do have baseball. But football, we just can't get rid of it completely, right? We've got the NFL Combine that will start in just a couple of days. I believe Monday in Indianapolis, the NFL Combine will start with all their different workouts for the positions. And for the quarterbacks, our guy Jaden Daniels, the pride of Cajon High School, the Heisman Trophy winner. If you look at a lot of those mock drafts, Patrick, they've got Jaden going either number 2 to Washington or number 3 to New England. It sounds like he will be off the board in those top 3 picks.
Right. We'll have to see where our very own Heisman winner goes. I've also heard some other rumors, Pep. There's the hot stuff. Even I have my finger on the pulse. There's a big rumor that Russell Wilson is going to go to the Steelers. So we get to find out where all these dominoes fall. You're right about who's going to get drafted because that's going to be part of this. And then I've also heard the rumor that Justin Fields will end up in Atlanta for him to run the RPO with Bijan Robinson, which actually sounds pretty dangerous.
And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, everything you just said, the Steelers need a quarterback, and maybe Russell Wilson could be that guy. And then for Justin Fields to go Atlanta, remember, Chicago has the number 1 pick. And it sounds like there's a 99.9% chance they will take USC quarterback Caleb Williams. So you're not going to have Caleb Williams and Justin Fields, I don't think. I don't think you'll have Caleb Williams sit for a season or two.
And then you saw on social media, Justin Fields stopped following the Bears, which caused total pandemonium. He tried to downplay it,
yes,
but I think the writing is on the wall.
Yeah, he was on some podcast, and you're right. He tried to downplay it, said it wasn't a huge deal, and he compared it to Instagram models. But yeah, he said it's not a huge deal, but that's kind of weird, right? That's
right,
doesn't make sense.
Oh, I didn't want to see it on my timeline. Well, you can just mute it, dude.
Yeah.
You don't have to unfollow them. But he tried to play it off. So we'll see. It's kind of the exciting. The offseason, it gets ratings too, doesn't it, Pep?
Yeah, I mean, remember we had all this stuff going on with the coaches about the last month or so, and now we're going to see a lot of player movement, especially because teams will fill needs, right, with the NFL draft. And players will be switching, teams coming up here in free agency with the start of the new NFL season also in March. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, the combine's coming up, and that will dictate a lot because a lot of guys will go in there and perform really well, and there'll be some team might out there might say, hey, we need a receiver, and this guy did awesome in his spandex in Indianapolis at the Combine. We're going to let our receiver hit free agency so we can draft this guy. So a lot of things are in play right now over the next month or so with the Combine and spilling into the draft in April.
The NFL Underwear Olympics.
Yes, that's what I like to call it. You can win a lot of money or lose a lot of money depending on how big your hands are or how fast you can run and stuff like that. So
true.
All right, we did have the start of the NASCAR season with the Super Bowl of NASCAR. It was one day late, but we finally got it on Monday, the Daytona 500, the Great American Race, the checkered flag going to William Byron. And Patrick, you were telling me your brother was actually at the race.
He was out there, and he said it was awesome, dude. And he saw the big one happen. Even as they crossed the finish line, another one happened. I mean, when the pack is going 197 miles an hour, one little movement on that narrow, extremely banked track at Daytona, and it was total chaos. I mean, one of the wrecks was an 18-car pileup. It collected half the field.
Yeah, there's always one, man. In fact, I'm a Kevin Harvick guy. I think it was 2007-ish when he won his first Daytona, and I think it was Mark Martin flew across the finish line like in a ball of fire. Like, I mean, it was a crazy like movie scene finish to that Daytona 500. So there's always carnage. And it always picks up a ton of cars. It's not like just two cars get into it. It's always like a huge pileup.
And Kevin Harvick, by the way, was in the booth for the first time announcing the race. And I mean, he was talking about, it was pretty funny when it was getting down to the end here. He was like, something's about to, it was funny. He was like, I can feel it. He goes, boys, something's about to happen. And it happened immediately. Like, he was like, oh, I can still feel it. Even up here in the booth.
He knew, man. He lived it. He knew. He lived it. He was in that spot, man. So next up is Atlanta. If you're a traditional NASCAR fan, you knew, normally they would go from Daytona all the way across the country and go to California Speedway right here in Fontana. And they would, be at Auto Club Speedway for the big Fontana race. But that's not the case. Remember, Fontana's under renovation. It's going to a short track. So no Fontana race this year. Next up, Atlanta for the NASCAR series.
Huge bummer, man. We're going to have to try to get over it, I guess.
Yes. So no local race here on the NASCAR circuit. And finally here, Patrick, we're talking some NBA basketball coming out of that All-Star game, which everyone was, moping around and not into it, no energy. Everyone just not satisfied with what the NBA All-Star game is right now. But we've got regular season starting again today, the second half of the season. And for the Lakers and Clippers, they're in two different spots. Clippers are going to open up on the road at Oklahoma City. Those are two of the top three teams in the Western Conference. The Clippers are right there within striking range for that number one spot in the West, but the Lakers are number 9 in the West. They're opening up against number 10 Golden State. The Warriors and Lakers are just trying to get into the play-in tournament down there.
They really are, man. And how many points were scored in the All-Star game? Was it 406 points? No defense. I was telling the kids out there, play defense and you will win championships. Don't follow their lead. They've ruined the All-Star game.
Yeah. No, it's unwatchable, right? Nobody wants to watch it. Nobody plays defense. And, somebody brought up a good point. Again, full disclosure, I'm a Kings fan, but I've got some really good friends who are Laker fans, and they were saying that this would never happen under the late, great Kobe Bryant's watch.
No.
Kobe was the ultimate competitor, just like Michael Jordan, right? Fans want to see the ultimate pickup game, right? The best in the world going at each other, not just no defense, alley-oops, ridiculousness. Like, it's not even a real game. So, the NBA All-Star game, I know, taking a lot of heat this week, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. I mean, the NFL, look at what, the Super Bowl, the Pro Bowl, a lot of people were tuning out, and they had to kind of revamp it. So what will the NBA do? What will the All-Star game look like going forward? Because it can't continue the way it is.
No, it has. You're right. The only All-Star game that seems to mean anything is the baseball one, because at least it seems like it's a real game,
Yeah, baseball's like, I think, even go back to my childhood, was the one I never missed. I always watched the baseball All-Star game, always on a Tuesday evening. But the NBA All-Star game, the Pro Bowl, they need to kind of get a facelift and figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work, because I don't think fans are even tuning in. Nobody wants to watch it.
No, I mean, and we can end on this. There was one thing that I was interested in, and I thought it was the highlight of the weekend, and that was Caitlin Clark and Steph Curry going at it. I loved it that she shot from the men's lines, and everyone was like, oh, man, she can't beat Steph. I mean, we're talking about freaking Steph Curry. I thought she put on a great show. That was actually, I had a lot of fun watching that. I thought that was actually pretty cool.
That was the best of the weekend. Right? Yes. I mean, it wasn't the game. It wasn't the other stuff. Even the slam dunk contest is not as dude, slam dunk contest used to be iconic. You'd go to school like on Monday and people would be talking about like what they did and, blindfolded and jumping over this. Not anymore, man. So yeah, going up against the greatest of all time, Steph Curry. Yeah, that was the greatest moment of the weekend.
And putting on a show just like our guy Pep puts on a show. I can't wait till we talk on Monday to discuss more that has happened in the sports world. Pep, tell me how to get your stuff.
Hey, Monday we'll probably talk more NFL Combine, maybe a Shohei Ohtani update, all kinds of good stuff. In the meantime, check out Inland Sports, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the Inland Sports YouTube channel. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.